Hi guys, it's me, Adil, your student president. It's so good to finally be back and hosting the Ask the Officer online. It's been around like 5 months or something since we had a chance to update all of you. I should tell everybody that usually this year we've decided for all of the full-time officers to be together in the Ask the Officers sessions, but unfortunately all the other VPs were busy. So it's just going to be me, but I am covering some of the aspects that they told me to inform all of you. So yeah, let's get started. I've got a lot of stuff to cover, to be honest, because I'll be talking about everything that we've been doing since August. So, and yeah, a lot of the things that we'll be doing, we are doing currently. So it's gonna be. Yeah, I'm gonna try to be fast. So apologies if you guys can't hear. We've got a comment from Natalie. Hi, Adele. Thank you so much, Natalie, and it's so good to speak to you again. Well, but we've talked many times, but yeah, it's really good to host the Ask the Officer again. If you guys have any questions before we while I'm talking, or before I start to talk about anything, just put it in the comments and I'll make sure to answer or discuss, of course. So first of all, I want to talk about like what everything we did in early August. So as you know, there were a lot of conversations going on how would learning and teaching would be in trimester A, and we started a discussion we proactively started discussion with the university in early August, because we saw some of the problems that happened last year when a lot of the institutions apart from GCU, all in the entire sector, they weren't able to tell their students how learning and teaching would be. So we proactively started a discussion with the university, and made sure that we're sending a message to these students how learning and teaching would be looking like. Would it be online? Would it be on campus? What can the students expect? And we sent a message to all the students, and I think that really helped in our students making an informed decision whether they want to come back to Glasgow, where they want to live in a student accommodation, live in a flat, or they want to remain home. What do they want to do for trimester A? So I think that really helped a lot of students as well. And then we had the hotel quarantine costing, and this was an issue last year as well. Last year, we had the winter COVID approach, which also ensured that international students were included in that funding. So this year we started a conversation with the university, because we found out many other institutions were compensating the entire cost. And again, this is in early August as well, before the trimester, before all the preparations for the trimester began. And we started the conversation with the university, and we weren't able to compensate the entire cost, because our fee structure, GCU's fee structure, being completely different. However, we were strong on we need to ensure that all our students are able to are not put at a detriment, and they're not disadvantaged. So we had the discretionary fund in place, which also included international students. So a lot of students were able to retrospectively as well. But even if they were, for example, flying from a country which was on a red list, they were able to get the money from the university in terms of the hardship funding. So that was I think that was a really helpful thing coming from the university for our students. And we did have a lot of conversations in that. And the government didn't really do us any favors, did they? I think they raised it from they raised the hotel quarantine cost for 500. They added 500 and made it 2,285, for which I also tried to I sent a letter to the government regarding this as well. And I think I was quite angry when I did. I'll tell you guys the first paragraph of the letter. We are calling out the Scottish and the UK government for the extortionate 2,285 hotel quarantine costs that international students from red list countries, as well as unvaccinated students, are being forced to pay on arrival. And it goes on and talks about why the government needs to make sure we're covering those costs. But yeah, a lot of the countries were then lifted from the red list, but we still have some issues come for some of the students coming in. So quickly moving on, Freshers Week. Vice President Scabby Olivia worked really hard on Freshers Week. we were thinking what was the best approach to go for Freshers Week. We started talking with the students. I personally talked to a lot of students. I received a lot of feedback. The association, the VPs, everybody, received a lot of feedback. We knew that the students wanted something on campus, and it's really been a long time since everybody had a chance to be on campus and enjoy Freshers the way you guys enjoyed. So we made sure that we have on-campus activities. Of course, we also ensured that we are putting something online just to make sure that for the students who can't make it to Freshers, which were a lot, and were able to attend Freshers in one way or the other. So the success, Freshers Week was a huge success. Everybody loved it. Everybody enjoyed it, and yeah, I'm really happy, and I think my whole team is really happy, for the engagement we receive at Freshers, and the excitement, the happiness of students. And so Freshers Week was was really good, and of course we were trying to make plans when the initial government guidance wasn't really clear. So we were waiting for the government to provide more guidance, but all went well. And then we started the conversation regarding winter graduations. Actually, we were involved in the conversation. It wasn't us that started or launched the conversation. We were involved in the conversation. The university approached me, and they wanted to know what would be the best way for winter graduations. And at that same point, I pursued, and I trying to put our perspective forward that we need a physical winter graduation, because students really want that experience as a part of university experience, and that also happened in August. And so I talked to the university, launched the mini poll on my own social media just to get a flavor of what the students wanted. So the result was really strong on the physical graduation. So just to let you guys know, we had two options. One option was to have an online ceremony like we had last year, an online ceremony, and then a reunion later, and a photography session as well, similar to what we have, with a little bit of adjustments. And on the other hand, the option was to have a physical winter graduation in concerts Royal Concerts Hall, yeah. And but reduced capacity and no capping by the chancellor, with of course face masks all the time, so with restrictions of course. But the result of the poll was was really powerful. 48 students told me that they'd prefer to go with the physical one now, rather than having an online one now and then a reunion later. Only 12 students said that they want to see the online ceremony now and the reunion later. So we took that forward. It's now being under discussion, because I've recently received a lot of messages from students as well, asking what's the outcome. I've actually just pinged the university, because I know it's an anxious time, and I'm trying to make sure that we send out the message and we clarify everything as soon as we can. We got a comment from Wamsi. Thank you so much, Wamsi. It's always a pleasure to talk to you and see you, and hope you're doing well and enjoying the start of trimester, like you all are. And so next up, September time, we started collecting opinions on online learning. It's a really gray area in terms of, because no one has seen this stage. No institution has seen this phase. So we wanted to make sure that we're getting the opinions of our students. We're really getting into keeping our ears open, asking students if they want to see the online learning to continue, or they want to see more on-campus teaching. And we started listening to students, and that really helped us forming our official statement that some of you may have seen. We got to know that most students really wanted to see more on-campus activities, but there were still students who wanted to continue with online learning because it benefited them, or helped them in last year. And so we wanted to, although the people who wanted to see more on-campus teaching far more superseded the number of students who wanted to continue online learning, we also wanted to make sure that we're not letting any of the students just not listening to them or not doing anything. So that's something we incorporated in our official statement as well, that we want to see more on-campus teaching, but we also want for the university, the sector, to incorporate a mechanism that allows any student that wants to continue learning online to be able to learn online, or if any student has a medical condition or is caring for somebody who has a medical condition, to be able to continue online. So the talks for that continued, and then we started conversation with the university late September as well. And although it wasn't, because there were a lot of we're still in talks, of course, but it was, the conversation in regards to for anyone to continue learning online is still undergoing. However, the university has created a new mechanism which allows who has an evidence medical condition, or is caring for someone who has a evidence medical condition, to be able to learn online, to be able to continue learning online without having to be on campus, if they're able to meet the learning outcomes. Of course, they launched this thing called a online study request form, and if you fall under that criteria, you can ask your program leader to provide you the online study request form, which you can submit, and then the university will look into you being able to continue online. So that's a mechanism they created, and then we also asked them to promote it, to make sure that the students know about it. So the university was actually really really helpful, and it's we do have a good partnership going on with the university. So they've been really helpful in that, and they did promote it. We as an association try to promote that as well, as much as we could. I personally put it on my social media. The VPs also promoted it, so that the students are aware of it. So that's what happened. And I was interviewed. That's another update, or really minor update, to be honest. I was interviewed with one of media channels regarding the new legislation by the new bill by the government for free under 22 bus travel. And I made sure to appreciate the government's efforts in trying to make sure that a lot of these, a lot of the because under 22, a lot of them fall as a student. I also ensure that we raise we let them know that we've got a large population of mature students at GCU. We've got 4,000 mature students at GCU out of 17,000, and that is a big proportion. So I made sure to also voice the concerns that we want to see this extended by the government. We want to see all students being able to have free access to public transport, bus travel. So that's just a minor, really quick update. And I'm missing out on many things just because I have to finish everything under an hour. But yeah. And also launched Caledonian Court Officer. Some of you will probably know from last year. It was like my baby. I launched it last year. Caledonian Court Officer is a new role that I created within the Students Association that would represent the 560 students residing in Caledonian Court. And typically, Caledonian Court is management run, so it's university led, it's university run. With the introduction of Caledonian Court, the Caledonian Court Officer will be involved in the representation of the students there. They will be involved with the democracy. They will have a say with the management. They will be involved in the decision making. And yeah, so the applications are open. I'm not sure if they closed, but they opened in August, and they're now a constituted part of the Students Association. So I'm really happy for that. And then in late September, and VPGSBS, we attended a climate action strike. And one of the things that me and the association is trying to do this year is to incorporate political activism. I think all of us, all the students, all of us really need to raise the issues that we resonate with a lot. Raise our voices, mobilize ourselves. Take action on the things that we really want to change, and a lot of things I'm planning to incorporate this year, and we'll be having a lot of these campaigns as well. But this was actually hosted. The climate action strike was actually hosted by Fridays for Future Sustainability. I hope I'm saying that right. And it was a march from Kelvin Grove Park all the way to George Square. Really amazing. It's going to go out. The details and the pictures and the videos are going to go out on our social media soon. You've probably seen it on my personal social media. But there were a lot of student representatives present, a lot of people present, a lot of energy over there. Me and VPGSBS, we attended it, and we had a lot of fun. Loved it as well, to be honest. And yeah, I think all of our students at GCU, and the members of GCU Students Association, we are really serious about climate justice and what we need to make sure doesn't happen in the future. We need to make sure that we're raising our voices and participating in all of these political activism activities as well. So that was something that we had a lot of fun. I'm also going to arrange a lot of these in the future. That was, of course, we contributed, we participated in that, but we're going to launch a lot of campaigns. I'm also encouraging all of our students, all of our liberation representation groups. There's so much stuff that we're enthusiastic about. There's so much stuff that you want to change. Get in touch with us. We want to create campaigns. We want to create, we want to encourage activism. We want to help you mobilize people and take it to the next level. So if if something's really of concern, get in touch, and we'll definitely make sure that we raise our voice and take that forward. I attended Dunblane last week. It was a conference that I had to attend for a week, so I was really busy. But something that popped up, it was COP26. For those of you know, it's a really big thing happening in Glasgow. The entire city is probably going to be disrupted in terms of transport. So while I was in Dublin, I also was speaking with the university because they were exploring the option of transferring learning and teaching for the COP26 period to online. And then I spoke to some of the students. I spoke to our VPs as well, and spoke to other institutions as well. If anything was happening, something similar was happening to that in their institution. And after getting the feedback, we started discussing with the university and made sure that we're strong on we cannot afford that inconsistency, because we've already sent the messaging out to the students. We've already told them how trimester 1 is going to be like. We've already told them the timetables they've got for the year, and also GCU can be the only institution that should take such a measure. And the university was compliant. Of course, they were really open to discussion. They were really open to our opinions, our perspectives. And so happy to say that learning and teaching at a more general level, the majority of it would not revert to online. Of course, at a local program level, it will be reviewed just to make sure that the programs and the modules that cannot function, sorry, I keep getting notifications, that cannot function in an online environment in a physical environment, or because of the disruption caused, they're adjusted, or they make adjustments to it, just to make sure students and staff as well, because of the disruption in travel, are not detrimented in any way or form. So just before I continue, I'm going to pause and take a question from Natalie. So Natalie asked, what happens for students who don't feel comfortable being in Glasgow at that time? So just for clarification, Natalie, is that regarding during the COP26 period? Because if it's the COP26 period, I think, because the discussion we've had with the university as of now is like, if there are programs or modules which have staff or students who have certain issues during the disruption, because of the disruption, or being in Glasgow and the disruption caused within the city, the staff, the local level program level, module level, the staff will look at it. And if a student genuinely has a problem, or if they have a concern, or like you said, if they're not comfortable in Glasgow, the program and module leader are advised to look into that and assess the situation and accommodate wherever they can. So I hope that kind of answers the question. In summary, yeah, they in those circumstances, they definitely will look into that and try to accommodate as much as they can. So moving on, thanks for the question, Natalie. I appreciate it. Moving on, yeah. So learning and teaching would be, and then it will resume to be on campus during that period, unless situations, for example, the one that Natalie mentioned, and any particular situations. A lot of you probably saw the post recently went out for yesterday regarding the minister coming in. to GCU, and we, the student representatives, me as well as the two vice presidents, Tabitha and Priscilla, had a chance to meet with the minister. And unfortunately, Olivia couldn't make it because she had a meeting to attend, but she gave us all the notes that wanted us to mention. Um, Great, thank you. No worries, Natalie. Always welcome. So yeah, we met with the minister and we made sure it was a really good conversation with the minister. Principal was there as well, so really productive conversation. And we really appreciate the university also extending the invite to us and facilitating the discussion. And some of the things that we discussed, including the pandemic, student mental health, student employment, the current learning and teaching that's in place in GCU, but not just GCU, overall in the sector as well. But also, many other, different areas which are affecting our GCU and wider students. Uh, I also asked, a question with the minister, because that's something, that, as I discussed, I received from a lot of students regarding, what are we going to learn from the pandemic? Is it something that we're going to make sure that we incorporate going future in the sector, in the education sector, or is everything just going to go back to normal? Well, normal is not the right word to use here, because it can mean multiple things. But what I mean is, like, what about the students that have, genuinely benefited from the online environment? We've got a large portion of disabled students which really, benefited from that. And so, do we learn from going forward? Have we learned something? Are we going to incorporate some things in the future, in the sector, or how is it going to, going forward? So really good discussion again. It was really good to have a chat with them. And so that's that. And right now, so let's talk about what's happening now. I had to go through the entire timeline, so apologies for that. But right now, I've once again launched a discussion with the university regarding, supporting our students with disability. A lot of you guys may know it was a part of my manifesto as well, and there were a lot of things for students with disability. And I'm also, keeping an open ear with, all the students, and trying to, get feedback from them. Last year, as the vice president and the chair for equality and diversity at GCU Students Association, I incorporated a discussion with our, disability students officer and all the liberation representation groups, and I also got the university head of learning and teaching in that discussion. So I basically, last week chased it up with them, and wanted to, ask if there were any conclusion from that. I'm trying to suggest three options. I think that will help support our, students with disability. And that includes, we need to, including, we update the equipment we have, that we use. For example, students with dyslexia, do face a lot of difficulties in some of the learning and teaching environment, which we need to make sure doesn't happen. Um, and all of this was discussed last year as well, in the equality and diversity. So I've raised this up. Another point in terms of that was, making learning and teaching mandatory when it comes to staff, because we need to make sure that they're equipped. They're equipped in terms of, knowing how to teach in that environment. And the last thing was, like, auto-MITS approval for, students with disability. And of course, these three options are being explored. It's not something that's in place or something, but yeah, I'm that's a conversation that I've just launched last week. Sorry, last week. Another quick thing was the Faith and Belief Center. I received a lot of queries from, some of our minority groups of students, and some of our religious, groups of students, who wanted, because the Faith and Belief Center had to close down due to the ventilation issues surrounding it. So we proactively talked to the university before the trimester was about to begin, before Freshers Week, and we started, conversating with them. I'll just pause for a second. Awan, thank you so much for the comment, and it's good to see you. So yeah, we incorporated that in the discussion, and talked to the university that we really needed a space for our students. We really needed a place so that our students are able to, have, perform their prayers, or, practice their faith. So Happy to announce, because I haven't been able to update a lot of these things. But yeah, we successfully were able to convince the university to reserve library seminar room number 3 to work as a faith and belief center that has a capacity of 8 or 9. So it has a low capacity. Because of the low capacity, we also got the university to agree to reserve Hamishwood 703, which has a capacity of 32, and Hamishwood 702, which has a capacity of 28, uh, to be used on Fridays as learning and the faith and belief center, just so our all of our students are able to practice their faith, or perform their religious duties. So that's one of the updates I had. And I've got so three really quick updates as well. The no detriment approach, which was also referred to as the fair assessment approach, has been carried forward this year. If you don't know what that is, it's just a guideline that the university at a module and program level follow, to make sure that the situation, the pandemic, and the situation surrounding it has not caused a detriment, has not altered your ability to perform what you would have performed otherwise. So basically, that's a really quick definition. Of course, it has more details, but so it has been forwarded to this year, and that's something that I know that a lot of students wanted to ensure happens. And yeah, MITS mitigating circumstances. It will continue this year to not not require evidence, and I know that was really helpful for students last year as well. So happy to announce that it's not going to require any evidence this year as well. If a student feels that they have a problem, or they have an issue, or they have a reason why they cannot appear in an assessment, they can file for MITS, of course. There's more to it, which I'd suggest contacting the advice center if you guys need more information on it. Last update from me is regarding the Green Impact Awards. The NUS Green Impact Awards. I'm happy to announce the Students Association has once again secured excellent accreditation, and that's, of course, all of the credit goes to the ethical environmental officers we had. They do some amazing work. If you don't know, just look it up. Go on Google and search GCU ethical environmental officers, or GCU ethical environmental group. The work they carry out the entire year, it's just amazing. And happy to say that really happy to have received this award for all of us. And it really comments about the our determination for the common good, and for sustainability. Lastly, I've got three quick updates regarding from each of the officers. Like I mentioned, they weren't able to make it. So Vice President Olivia wanted me to tell everybody that Nightline is back. Nightline is a service we offer. However, it's working on a reduced service from 7 p.m. to 12 a.m. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So make sure, if you want to use it, go for it. It's a really good service. It's really helpful as well, and a well-needed service as well. So use it whenever you can, whenever you want to. We're also wanting to remind the students to wear masks whenever they're not eating or drinking indoors. To keep yourself and everyone around you safe. Tabitha wanted me to inform you about the Black History Month events that are coming up. We've got Show Racism the Red Card on 22nd December. We're encouraging all the students to wear red that day in support of the event. Every Friday, we'll be highlighting the work of our students and alumni, and what Black History Month means to them. We'll also be celebrating Black culture on the 29th of October with music, food, and drinks. And there's a bunch of more stuff, which I really encourage you guys go and see and check out. Lastly, Vice President Priscilla wanted me to tell you guys the careers fair session that's going to be held tomorrow at 1:30 p.m. on Collaborate Ultra. You can find the link in your emails or the careers website of your school. So finally, happy to say I finished the entire list. It was a long list, and I missed a lot of the things as well because I've been trying to keep it short. I'm a bit unwell too. Got a sore throat. So I hope you all of you found that helpful. And there's probably a few things that I missed as well, which I'm going to try to put out on my own social media and the Students Association social media as well. But if you have any questions, any student has any questions, feel free to get in touch with me. I'll try to respond as soon as I can. If there's any concern, if there's any issue, if you want to talk about something, if there's an initiative that you want to launch, if there's a campaign that you want to launch, I just want to inform all of our students that just feel free to get in touch with any one of the VPs, me or the association, and we'll definitely take that forward. And we're planning on a lot of stuff this year, so hopefully see you guys very soon on campus again. For now, bye bye guys, thank you so much.